Crystal Property Group, real estate focused leisure developer, founded in 2018. Our brand is young in terms of hospitality side. Our focus has essentially been the vision to put Sri Lankan leisure on an international map in terms of real estate investment. Also growing a hospitality brand along with it, be the number one developer in terms of the leisure space, but also building a fantastic hospitality brand that can be recognized as one of the best in Sri Lanka. Crystal Property Group, we are a real estate focused leisure developer, founded in 2018. And our focus has essentially been the vision to put Sri Lankan leisure on an international map in terms of real estate investment. We all know Sri Lanka's potential as tourism destination, the variety of experiences that we have to offer. In terms of hospitality, it all starts with real estate. So our vision was to essentially capitalize on putting that Sri Lankan real estate, whether it's from mountains to beaches to wildlife, to putting that on the map and really focusing on bringing in that foreign investment in terms of luxury holiday homes, which are designed from a resort perspective. That is kind of Crystal Property Group. We're a leisure-focused real estate developer, putting Sri Lankan landscape on the map, and of course also growing a hospitality brand along with it, and having a vision not only to be a premier developer and be the number one developer in terms of the leisure space, but also building a fantastic hospitality brand that can be recognized as one of the best in Sri Lanka. CPG's impact in terms of foreign investment, primarily, I guess, twofold. So one is from the developments that we do and being able to successfully encourage foreign investors to acquire assets in Sri Lanka. So everything we do is on a condo plan, so foreigners can easily access and buy these assets with no restriction. And actually, I guess again, there is the case study to prove that what we've done has been successful, because with Crystal Sands, which was our first project, which was essentially putting kind of a product out there to really capitalize on that opportunity that was there of being Lonely Planet's number one destination to travel to. So we put this product out there, and the reception we got from an international market. And when I say international market, I'm talking about diaspora as well as pure international investors. But we had a resounding reception from both of those categories of foreign investors, because they saw the opportunity, they saw a brand that was delivering a product that fulfilled their intent to invest in that opportunity. And we've got multiple investors from a foreign perspective who've invested and brought foreign exchange into the country, but also had the confidence to invest in Sri Lanka. Of course, subsequent to that, now we've got that confidence really dropped. But from our perspective, our investors who have that foreign perspective and who have invested and have had to go right through a crisis are extremely impressed with what we've done. So we strongly feel that telling that story, having those investors with us, I mean, we always say anyone who invests in CPG is not just a client, but they're part of our family. So as a family, we've had to go through this entire crisis, and everyone's come out well. And our investors, our foreign investors, to our Sri Lankan local investors, everyone's, I think, very satisfied with what we have endeavored to do. They have had to be part of this kind of difficult period, and they've seen that our intent as a brand has always been priority to deliver to them. I hope that gives you that perspective in terms of foreign investment. But then, obviously, as I said, that it's twofold. So the second part of it is our foray into the hospitality industry, because the natural progression with us is we have the development team, and then we have a hospitality team, which looks after the assets, which markets the assets, sells the assets, and runs the operational team that is on the properties running the resort. So of course our brand is young. in terms of that, in terms of the hospitality side. But what we see is a huge opportunity in terms of our responsibility to put Sri Lankan hospitality out there, to market it with the kind of a fresh type of thinking. There's a huge opportunity there as well in terms of driving more tourists to the country, in terms of being associated with great properties that are built from an international perspective. And I think that's another way where we can encourage more foreign investment into Sri Lankan hospitality. Of course, Sri Lankan real estate, but also Sri Lankan hospitality. Some validation of the fact for CPG is that our hospitality brand is actually showing fantastic growth in terms of not only managing our own properties, but also now being approached by other real estate asset owners who have hospitality products and approaching us to manage their products from a hospitality perspective. So I think that is validation that, yes, we have a long way to go, but also that what we are doing in terms of hospitality is working. And that's great for our investors, because our investors are buying, yes, real estate, but they're also buying this hospitality perspective. When they see the hospitality side and the hospitality company growing and being approached by others to manage their own product, I think that is validation that we are kind of on the right track in terms of delivering to our investors and building a fantastic brand at CPG. In terms of capitalizing on emerging opportunities, I think from a CPG perspective, what we see is the track record we've established for ourselves over the last 5 years in terms of delivering international standard product, received validation and recognition today. 2 luxury properties, Crystal Sands, which is an all-suite 25-unit hotel, and development of 6 ultra-luxury villas on the Waligama coast. So in terms of capitalizing on the future opportunities where we see Sri Lanka further growing, and as you know, everyone's talking about Sri Lankan hospitality, which we recognized in 2018, but is kind of back again and is the buzzword and will be, I think, key part of Sri Lanka's future economic growth. I think we are well placed because of having delivered these products. People can see what we do. They can come and experience the type of service in terms of hospitality that we want to deliver. And I think really leveraging on that delivery and execution and kind of positioning new product and new opportunities, I guess validated by the fact that while it's not from a Sri Lankan perspective, but CPG is also ventured into its first international investment in the Maldives. That gives us the ability and the track record, not only in terms of what we've executed in the past, but in terms of our future growth opportunities. And I think that is really what we want to really capitalize on in the future, which is the opportunity that is present, but leveraging on our brand and the delivery that we've executed over the last 5 years. My outlook for the property market is, I feel at the moment, I think, look, we are coming out of an economic crisis. I do believe the worst is behind us. In terms of a real estate perspective, it tends to lag the rest of the economy. But I do feel that real estate right now is about to move into kind of a growth stage at a very early level. So it's going to be very attractive. I think there's going to be a lot of opportunistic plays for investors who are looking to really invest in that future growth cycle that is available. So I do feel that while the market has been extremely slow over the past years, we are now kind of moving into a cycle of growth. And I think for those who are looking for capital appreciation, buying assets at attractive valuations, I think now is the time to start looking at it. From a perspective of, I guess, our core focus, which has been hospitality, I also feel that there is a huge opportunity for that. While there are the opportunities in the traditional urban settings from a residential as well as commercial perspective, in terms of our focus, which has been hospitality, obviously we are all seeing that hospitality in Sri Lanka has picked up with the last kind of high peak season for the South Coast being a relatively good season where we have grown, and the outlook is very positive for the industry. So from a CPG perspective, having been in that kind of been in there and executed our projects, I think we are also positioned to take advantage of that growth stage. And I think for anyone who's looking to invest in hospitality and the fundamental of real estate where hospitality investment really starts, I do feel there are great opportunities, and you're looking at essentially being able to participate in not only the real estate side, but also the huge opportunity that hospitality presents for Sri Lanka. I think everyone's always been speaking about it, but lately it is kind of a buzzword in terms of hospitality, and that is where I think a lot of Sri Lanka's potential international growth can come from, and international investment. CPG's resort residence model, the core focus, I would say, of what we do. Essentially, we are here to really put Sri Lankan hospitality and real estate on the map by selling beautifully designed holiday homes. We want to deliver those holiday homes also from an investment perspective. It's not just a holiday home that you own that you can visit, but it's a holiday home that also really allows you as an investor to have the opportunity to participate in Sri Lankan hospitality, but also participate it with the perspective of a versatile kind of developer, hotel brand that is delivering you something that you can compare to all the other hotel brands in the country. So that's essentially what we want to deliver. So why we call it the resort residence is because, yes, the residence part of it is extremely important, but it's been designed around the expectation that the investors as well as the operators like us will be able to really deliver these as fully serviced resorts with all the amenities and all the infrastructure that anyone would expect when they visit a resort in Sri Lanka. From CPG's perspective, our ability to be here and be obviously ready to capitalize on the future opportunity that this hospitality and real estate model really presents. Key part to that is what we've executed in the last 5 years and having delivered projects in the last 5 years through a number of obstacles. Now, what's helped us to do that is, as a real estate developer, very early stage when we set up and when we founded the company, what we thought is we wanted to have all of the skill sets in-house. So we wanted to work with our own project managers, we wanted to work with our own engineers, own design consultants, own draftsmen, own quantity surveyors. So essentially we brought in all those skills in-house. Most developers in Sri Lanka will outsource those skills. I mean, not to say all of them, but a lot of them would. So a key part to our ability to survive this kind of crisis and be the only developer who has actually delivered 2 resort residence projects to the country. In fact, we're the only ones who actually run a resort residence model. There's no other developer in Sri Lanka who does what we do in terms of a fully managed, fully essentially looked after asset for on behalf of another investor. What has allowed us to be where we are today, it's essentially that putting together that team, bringing all those skill sets in-house. So when we had to face any crisis, the advantage we had was that the crisis management, finding solutions was all done internally, and it was done. I mean, the team works not 9 to 5, they work all the time. They're always thinking of solutions, solving problems. So having all those skill sets in-house really allowed us to kind of rear our heads and come out of this crisis. Just for example, even when it came to procurement, one of the hardest things we've had to face as a company in delivering these projects is the fact that we've had to face import restrictions, lack of foreign currency. So those things, in terms of being able to overcome, I mean, typically you would be importing a lot of material that you put into a development. In this case, we couldn't, but we had our own procurement guys in-house who were basically 24/7 looking at options, speaking to suppliers, working with local suppliers and figuring out how can we deliver an international standard product, even faced with the restrictions we had. So I think having those skill sets in-house, and I guess the proof in the pudding is the fact that anyone's able to go and see the projects we've delivered, and most who see it do see that there is an international standard to what we've done. Number one is the team, putting that team together, bringing that team in-house and allowing ourselves to be able to solve problems really fast is what has really allowed us to kind of be where we are in terms of a group today.